Hello, everyone. So today is my first BBC, and I thought that I would share a bit about my journey and how I ended up here, sitting here in these robes before everybody today. And I think all of you, except for Andy, know my personal story. Madam. But I thought I would share for the viewers online who I am. And so my name is Venerable Tupten Kunga, and I'm the newest member of the Abbey community. I trained here for about 2 years before ordaining, now 2 weeks ago. And before that, I grew up in Northern Virginia, just outside Washington, D.C. And I would say that I had a pretty good life growing up. I had a very good education. I had a loving family. I had, I got a good job when I graduated from college. And I never had to worry about having a roof over my head or food to eat. But at the same time, I knew kind of early on that just a regular life wouldn't bring contentment, and that I would have to pursue like a higher cause or a higher purpose in life in order to truly feel fulfilled. So I encountered Buddhism in college, and I was really blown away by the Four Noble Truths. It shook me, and I said, this is exactly what I've been looking for, but I didn't have the discipline at the time to really start practicing. And it took about another 10 years before I started going to a Dharma group and a meditation group that would meet every week just outside DC. And as soon as I went there, I knew that that was what I was looking for. The peace of mind that I experienced in meditation, I felt like this is real happiness. This is, what I need to devote my life to. And so I quickly became involved in a number of Buddhist communities and Dharma centers in the area, and I had enough space to meditate every day and to attend teachings, many teachings each week. So I was able to integrate the Dharma into my life fairly well. And one might wonder, why then did you walk away from building a career, a home, having nice vacations and holidays with family and friends to come and move here? And I've asked myself that own question many times, maybe even today. No, not today. But yeah, I really looked hard at this question since I came here. And the answer is that I felt like I was completely disconnected from the world around me, and I really didn't know who I was. That had been okay going through college, but after I graduated, I felt like I was just living somebody else's life, living out somebody else's vision. And at a certain point, it stopped inspiring me. I always had this interest in exploring like unexplained phenomena and the mysteries of the mind and what's truly possible. And I couldn't figure out how to integrate that into a life focused on building resumes and mortgages and retirement funds. So it was like a real puzzle for me. There came a point about maybe 4 years ago now when I sort of hit a wall. My career stalled. I wasn't able to find another job, and my long-term relationship fell apart. And I realized that this is a precious opportunity to finally explore what's in my heart, what inspires me, what's meaningful to me. So I took that opportunity to quit my job. I traveled to Nepal, where I lived outside of a monastery and taught English to little monks there. And the idea was to see, could I thrive in a monastic environment? And I also visited a retreat center in New Mexico called Upaya. It was a Zen center. It was a very nice place. And then I ended up at Sravasti Abbey in 2016 for the Exploring Monastic Life retreat. At that time, I was totally not ready to put on robes. Even thinking about it would freak me out. But I wanted to explore the possibility, and the retreat was very good about providing that space to just, what if, ask the question, what if, to explore. And so I loved the retreat, I loved the community, it was an amazing experience. I still left after the retreat to figure out what I wanted to do, and I decided that I really want to come back to the Abbey and just hang out here and see if I want to train. So that's what I did. I came back as a long-term guest for 4 months. And then during that time, I was like, do I want to start serious training? Do I want to train for real? And it was a long process. It was quite torturous at points. But I decided, yes, I want to officially request training as an anagarika. So that's the phase right before you become a monastic. And so since my anagarika training started 2 years ago, up until now, I've really seen a big transformation in my mind, uh, living in the precepts, ethical precepts, and purifying my mind every day has really shown me how much of my difficulties and struggles in life have been related to lack of self-esteem. And this is actually what my talk is about today. I had been aware that I had low self-esteem for a long time, but I was looking in all the wrong places for boosting it. And I think, I blame society in part, but also my own ignorance, of course. But the messaging I got growing up is that self-esteem is to be found in impressive credentials and prestigious titles and having nice clothes and funny friends and a fit body and having money to enjoy life's highest sensual pleasures. And it didn't work. And thankfully, after being here, now I can say that now I know for sure that the true source of self-esteem is actually ethical conduct, which is how we treat others and how we treat ourselves. So at the Abbey each morning, as soon as we wake up, we set 3 motivations for the day. And that includes not to do harm with our body, speech, and mind, to benefit others as much as possible with our body, speech, and mind. And these two intentions become the compass and the yardstick for how we measure our words and our actions throughout the day. We also set motivations before any activity that we undertake or any new transition in the schedule. And it's usually the bodhicitta motivation, which is to be of highest benefit to all sentient beings by transforming our minds into the fully awakened mind of the Buddha. So returning to these aspirations throughout the day reminds me what my truest values are, which is kindness and non-harmfulness. And because of this constant reminder of, what's at my core, I'm able to let go of self-blame and self-criticism a lot more easily, especially if I come into conflict with somebody or I'm really disappointed in myself. I found that the precepts serve as a protection and a support that prevent me from doing things that I really don't want to do, but sometimes I just feel compelled. But they actually have been a great source of protection. And it's also true of the monastic precepts. I really felt that protection as soon as I took them. We do daily purification practices, and we recall our misdeeds, and then we pledge never to do them again and to make amends. So that's also, it's a way to convince myself that, I'm trying to be a good person. I don't have to worry about that so much. And of course, having positive role models around to mirror myself in has been maybe the best part. I was always looking for a group of mentors and role models, and I never found them before I came to the Abbey, but there's so many here. It's wonderful. So before this daily regimen of virtue, it was hard for me to see how I was a good person. I was constantly driven by fear and attachment, and I sought pleasure, praise, and promotions in order to prove that my life had meaning. And these things ended up being more like Band-Aids for a wound that could only be healed from the inside. And ethical conduct is exactly the kind of medicine that can do this, that can heal from the inside. I visited a lot of mental health professionals over the years, and none of them told me that ethical conduct, generosity, and kindness are the key to mental health. I think this is such a tragedy. It's such an oversight, and I hope that His Holiness's secular ethics initiative will change this and convince people that ethical conduct is not optional if you want to have a healthy mind and healthy society. So I can say now that I'm more relaxed around other people, I feel like I have to prove myself less, or impress other people. Again, I'm fairly certain that I'm moving in a good direction, even though I'm not perfect, because I'm working to overcome my limitations every day and learning how to forgive myself for the mistakes that I make. And I think that it's only through this kind of inner work that we can truly learn how to love others and have compassion for them. So this is why I'm sitting here now, living as a monastic at the Abbey, and that's to learn how to become the person that I want to become and learn how to love myself so that I can teach others how to love themselves too. And all of this is done on the basis of ethical conduct, and that's what the monastic way of life is all about. And there was a quote during the ordination ceremony that I find really inspiring, and I'd like to share with you. I've recalled it daily since then. It says, "Know yourself to be honorable and outstanding like this. Generate the feeling of preciousness and respect, and do not despise yourself." So may this quote serve as an inspiration to everyone, whether they're ordained or not, who is searching for a higher purpose in life.